Coming up now in your spoiler-free wrestling news rundown, we've got updates on The Rock's WWE schedule leading into WrestleMania. We've got the latest news on the allegations against Vince McMahon, and we've also got an update on what is going on backstage in TNA Wrestling since the release of Scott D'Amore. All that and more coming up now. If you've enjoyed seeing The Rock on WWE programming, then you're going to like the next 3 episodes of SmackDown. So The Rock has announced that he will be on the next 3 SmackDown shows. So that is on March 1st, so this Friday in Glendale, Arizona. That show is sold out. Over 11,400 tickets have been sold to that show. And so The Rock then noted on Instagram today that he will also be in Dallas on March 8th for that show. That show is probably going to sell out as well. As of last Friday, there was a little under 11,000 tickets sold to the event. And then The Rock has announced he will also be on the March 15th SmackDown, which will take place in Memphis. And I do not have ticket information for that show available, but something tells me it could sell out. So just looking at WWE's schedule leading up until WrestleMania. So there are only 2 SmackDowns before WrestleMania that Rock is not confirmed for. So he will be, as we've said, he's going to be on the March 1st show. And then the March 8th show, the March 15th show he's also confirmed for. Now, we don't have confirmation that he'll be in Milwaukee on March 22nd. There's also a SmackDown in Connecticut on March 29th. And then after that, it's the Friday SmackDown in Philadelphia. And that's just one night before WrestleMania Night 1. And, of course, 2 nights before WrestleMania Night 2. So not sure if The Rock's going to be on the final few episodes of SmackDown leading up to WrestleMania. Maybe he'll be on those shows as well, but he's definitely confirmed that he will be in Glendale, Arizona on Friday, and then Dallas on March 8th, and Memphis on March 15th. In terms of news updates regarding the allegations against Vince McMahon, we are seeing wrestlers on the WWE roster starting to comment on the matter now in interviews, although they are, for the most part, just giving vague statements about them being awful. So Kevin Owens and Becky Lynch were both interviewed by Alex McCarthy of the Daily Mail over the weekend, and here is what they had to say about Vince McMahon. Kevin Owens said, "Everything that has come out is just awful, just terrible. There's really no words to describe how sad this makes me feel. If the people who spoke out went through what they went through, that's terrible. It's shameful and it can't ever happen again. That's what it comes down to." Becky Lynch was also asked about the allegations against Vince McMahon, and she mentioned that she is having trouble reconciling the allegations, for instance, the ones that were in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. But she said that her experience in WWE has only ever been positive. So she said, "I have been fortunate in my career that I have always felt supported by the company. These allegations are horrible, and it's hard to reconcile as a talent and as a woman. But my experience in WWE has only ever been amazing. Yes, in the beginning, there was some restrictions on some things. We, meaning the women in WWE, we couldn't punch grabbing hair. There was some weird stuff there, but I was able to push us forward, push women forward, and I'm very grateful for that. So this company, right now, some of these things are hard to reconcile." There was also comments made by a former WWF wrestler, Nick Kiniski. And Nick is the son of Gene Kiniski, who is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And he spoke with John Pollock and Brandon Thurston on an episode of Pollock and Thurston that was released on Monday. And in the interview, Kiniski joins a list of wrestlers who have accused former WWE employee Terry Garvin of sexual misconduct. Here are some of the statements that Kiniski gave to Pollock and Thurston regarding Terry Garvin. Kiniski said, "He would come up to me and hit on me. I won't say what he said, but you'll understand the meaning behind it. He says, Hey, Nick, let me perform oral sex on you. You can read a Playboy and you'll have it made for life. And he is my boss. He controls my boss. This is my livelihood, what I want to do. I kind of joked with him. I said, hey, Terry, I'm not that way, but if I ever change, you'll be the first. I'll let you be the first. We just kind of laughed it off, but he was always kind of coming up and joking. And one time he came to my hotel room late at night and I told him to leave, knocked at the door. So it put me in a very awkward position. Later, he would say, my career was going good. I was traveling. I was enjoying it. That's all I ever wanted to do in life. You go out there on a card with Hulk Hogan, so they were sellouts. It's an unbelievable adrenaline rush. But unfortunately, Kiniski feels that he was punished by the company after he brought his concerns about what Terry Garvin was doing to him to Vince McMahon. So he said, I remember where it was. It was in Milwaukee, Oregon. We wrestled in Portland. I called Vince and I said, hey, Vince, I don't think this is right. Terry's hitting on me. I don't appreciate that, and I would like it to stop. And Vince said, oh, okay, I'll deal with it. And that was it. However, Kiniski then later noted that his career started to suffer after this. And after being taken off of a Friday night show, which also meant that he was not paid to work that show, Kiniski said he complained to Vince McMahon. He said, I talked to Vince. I said, this isn't right, Vince. I complain, and now you guys are punishing me. I'll finish my bookings, but I'm not putting any guys over. Put me in the ring. We'll see what happens. Vince knows I could take care of myself. So he said, nope. I said, I'm done. I said, I'll finish my matches. Nope, you're done now. Thank you very much. Okay, if you are not up to date on what happened in New Japan Pro Wrestling over the weekend at the two New Beginning in Sapporo shows, there are going to be some spoilers from those events in the next bit of this video. We are going to talk about the New Japan Cup. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced the brackets for the tournament today on Monday. And there's a few surprising names in there, not the least of which is Jack Perry, who will be scheduled to face Shota Umino at the 52nd anniversary show on March 6th. But let's go over the brackets here. So 28 wrestlers are entered into the tournament this year, with the winner meeting the IWGP World Champion Tetsuya Naito at Sakura Genesis on April 6th. So here are the brackets. Okay, so starting at the anniversary show on March 6th, we'll see 3 first-round matches on that show. We'll see Yoshihashi versus Kenta, with the winner going on to meet Sanada, who won the tournament in 2023. The second match in the tournament will be Shota Umino versus Jack Perry. So Jack Perry is going to debut with New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan, even before the Windy City Riot show in Chicago in April. The winner of Umino versus Jack Perry will face the winner of the third match in the tournament, and that's Toru Yano versus Yujiro Takahashi. Moving on then to a show that's going to take place in Korakuen Hall on March 7th. We'll see TJP versus David Finlay, and the winner of that match will move on to the second round to face the winner of match 5, which will be Tonga Loa versus Great-O-Khan. And the sixth match in the tournament, also taking place on March 7th, will be Tomohiro Ishii versus Chase Owens, with the winner of that match moving on to face Hiroki Goto in the second round. Of course, Goto receiving a bye. Then we go to March 8th, and we'll see Hikuleo versus Boltin Oleg in the tournament. And the winner of that will meet Evil, who is the winner of the 2020 New Japan Cup. And in the eighth match in the tournament, we will see Shingo Takagi versus Yuya Uemura, and the winner of that will move on to meet the winner of match 9, which will be Callum Newman of the United Empire going up against Bullet Club's Gabe Kidd. Match 10 will be Yota Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb. The winner of that will face the winner of El Phantasmo versus Mikey Nichols. We'll then see the 12th match, Taichi versus Ren Narita. The winner of that will face Zack Sabre Jr., who is the New Japan Cup winner in both 2018 and 2022. And that is your brackets for the 2024 New Japan Cup. We've got just one other match announced for Sakura Genesis. So Sakura Genesis
We'll see Tetsuya Naito defend his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the New Japan Cup. The only other match announced, the new IWGP Global Champion, after he defeated David Finlay for the title in Sapporo. He is going to defend that title against the former IWGP TV champion, and that's Hiroshi Tanahashi. He actually dropped that TV title to Matt Riddle also in Sapporo this weekend. Now, coming up, we've got the March 6th anniversary show, the 52nd anniversary show for New Japan Pro Wrestling. We will see a return of an old tradition for the anniversary show where they would have the heavyweight champion take on the junior heavyweight champion. And we will see that as Tetsuya Naito face the new IWGP junior heavyweight champion show. And of course, as we previously mentioned, there will be 3 New Japan Cup matches on that show as well. So that's what's going on upcoming for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, so the situation in TNA Wrestling is said to be doing a lot better now after the promotion was in Louisiana this weekend. They had the No Surrender pay-per-view on Friday night, and then they were taping television on Saturday. So, of course, it had looked like many members on the roster were ready to revolt after Scott D'Amore had been released from his position as company president in recent weeks. So this weekend was the first time that the entire roster was all together along with management when they were at the tapings this week. There was a meeting with executives from Anthem Sports and Entertainment and the TNA Wrestling roster that was said to have gone much better than the phone meeting which announced that D'Amore had been released went. So this is an article that's up on SEScoops.com, and they are running through some stuff that was reported on Fightful Select, which is, of course, behind a paywall. So basically, they write here that the meeting was meticulously planned out ahead of time, and attendees included TNA Wrestling talent and executives with Anthem Sports and Entertainment, and executives did meet with some higher-up talent on a one-on-one basis as well. So the general consensus of the meeting was that nobody wanted the roster to abandon the hard work that they've done collectively, even if the roster wasn't in agreement with the decision to fire D'Amore. One top name with TNA was reportedly looking to leave the company as a result of D'Amore's exit, but later decided to work the weekend's tapings to see how the meeting went before doing anything too extreme. So TNA's new higher-ups are said to be open to feedback from the talent roster. Many wrestlers in the company said that while they disagreed with the decision, the meeting did do a good job of getting them excited about the possibilities going forward. While many in the company are still hoping Scott D'Amore will rejoin TNA at some point, it is not expected to happen. So at the very least, it seems a mass exodus from TNA Wrestling has been averted. And of course, there will be plenty of people on that roster who, want to keep the good buzz that had been building around the company going. Of course, Nick Nemeth recently debuted there. We've got Mustafa Ali is there. Lots of big things happening for TNA Wrestling. That Scott D'Amore release did come out of nowhere, it seemed, for many people, with D'Amore basically having been the guy to resurrect the company when it was at death's door back not too many years ago. All right, let's quickly go over some of the smaller news items that are making headlines in the world of wrestling today. So WWE has announced that they are going back to Mexico this summer. They had a very successful 2-show tour of Mexico last summer as well. So last summer on July 22nd, 2023, I believe they were in Mexico City. CM Punk commented on missing the Elimination Chamber this weekend. Of course, there was heavily rumored that he would have been in the men's Elimination Chamber match, but of course, an injury to his triceps has prevented him from doing so. So he just wrote on his Instagram stories, he wrote, had a rough day. This was on Saturday when, the show took place. He wrote, had a rough day mentally today. My heart and spirit are in Perth. Just a hard day staying positive, and nobody wishes I was there performing for the fans more than me. Enjoy the show. Appreciate you all. Also, you might remember from AEW Dynamite last week, Madison Rayne wrestled Deonna Purrazzo and got dropped directly on her head. She actually put out something on Twitter to announce that she is fine. Hi, I'm okay. Thanks so much to everyone who celebrated my Dynamite return and those who checked in on me afterwards. To those who have never stepped into a ring but tweeted awful things at me with zero knowledge of what actually happened, thanks for watching. Have a great day. So, the main bullet point though is that Madison Rayne is okay after being dropped on her head. Also okay and actually cleared to return to the ring is Robert Roode. However, Roode is saying at 48 years old, he's happy being a WWE producer and is not looking at getting back in the ring. So he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet recently and said that he has been cleared to return. He's just not going to do it. He said, ironically enough, I just got green lighted. The fusion, he had neck fusion surgery. The fusion has completely fused. So as far as like looking at it from a medical point of view, it's safe to get back in the ring, I guess. But at almost 48 years old, given the opportunity that I've been given now to work as a producer, which was my goal coming to WWE almost 8 years ago, I'm quite happy doing this. And I feel like I've had a good run, as they say, and I'm happy to do what I'm doing now. All right. WWE Raw is coming up tonight from the SAP Center in San Jose, California. It's a virtual sellout. So, while according to this update from WrestleTix, which was from a few days ago, there are about 42 tickets still remaining. It's a virtual sellout, just under 12,000 expected in San Jose tonight for this episode of Raw. Now, there's only 2 matches, only 2 segments announced for the show. Could be a case that with so many wrestlers having been in Australia this weekend for Elimination Chamber, they're not really certain who's available to do what. But basically, the 2 matches that we've gotten announced for tonight, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, going to go up against Imperium's Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, and also Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura will have a rematch on tonight's show as well. Then tomorrow night, there will be WWE NXT from the Performance Center in Orlando. This is just up on Pro Wrestling Wiki. We've got the lineup. There will be Noam Dar defending the NXT Heritage Cup Championship against a member of the No Quarter Catch crew. However, we don't know if it'll be Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, or Miles Bourne. We will see Kiana James up against Kalani Jordan on the show. Dijak will take on Luca Crucifino. And we'll see the OCs, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, going up against Idris Inofi and Malik Blade. Alexis King will be in action against Von Wagner as well. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button and the notifications bell, and we'll see you again next video.